Alright, hello, and welcome to a video about the world's wackiest racers. And no, this is not about Pastor Maldonado, although he would fit right into this series. This, of course, is about the 1968 TV series, in which each week 11 of the world's craziest, zaniest, and downright bonkers drivers would whirl their wheels in the wacky races. At the end of each episode, it'd always show you who won the race, plus at least the 2 other podium finishers. Quite often it would show you all the drivers that finished, so I thought it'd be interesting to try and work out who actually did win the wacky races. To do this, I'll be using the current Formula 1 point system. So first place will get you 25 points, followed by 18 for second, then 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1 point for last place. I'll only be able to give out points for cars that officially cross the line, and I'll be changing a few of the official results as well based on my own judgments. And this isn't really a video that should be taken too seriously. We're looking back at a cartoon from over 50 years ago. It's just a bit of fun.
And away they go on the way out wacky races.
So here we go, the races are underway in the first ever wacky race, with the first victory in the series going to the Crimson Hay Baler, with the Creepy Coupe in second and Buzzwagon in third. Meanwhile, Dick was tricked by the anthill mob, I mean the 7 little dwarfs, and is left stuck in the mud. With no other finishers shown, only 3 drivers pick up points in the first race. Already in the second episode of the series, we get our first big controversy. The infamous episode where Dick is disqualified for extending his car across the line. Now, considering Rufus Roughcut is allowed to stretch his neck to win a race, I think it's only fair to reinstate Dick as the true winner. With everyone else moving down a position, Penelope does not get her first win of the series, plus the Buzzwagon is stripped of their podium. For the next 2 races, all the drivers, with the exception of Dick, all cross the finish line, with the Arkansas Chuggabug and the Creepy Coupe both picking up their first wins. Let's take a closer look at the Creepy Coupe, piloted by the gruesome twosome, along with their various monsters hiding inside the belfry. This includes most notably a dragon, which is often used to fire up the other competitors. On the wacky scale, which I'll be using to determine how crazy and wacky each car and competitors are, I'll give them a score of 9 out of 10.
Now, storming into the lead is the Creepy Coupe.
In Mishmash Missouri Dash, it looked like it would be a sure win for Peter Perfect, until a cute little kitty wanders onto the track. But maybe he is the real winner, getting to hold the little ball of fluff. As we do only see 4 cars finish the race, I will give Peter 5th place. I'm also giving 6th place to Dick Dastardly, as it does show him cross the line in last place. However, as the other cars were not shown, it is presumed they all did not finish. Here is a quick update of the stand-ins after 5 rounds. With the Anthill Mob languishing in last place, surprisingly Dick is up in 7th place, while Penelope, the Buzzwagon and the Creepy Coupe make up the current top 3. The next 2 rounds are dominated by the Slag Brothers, with back-to-back wins, one of only 3 cars to win back-to-back races, the others being the Turbo Terrific and the Arkansas Chuggabug. Let's take a closer look at the Bouldermobile. This prehistoric pair are often found rocking their way into first place, usually seen bashing other competitors, or more likely bashing themselves with their clubs. They were always one of my favourites. Only problem is their car does have a tendency to fall to pieces. On the wacky scale, they get an 8 out of 10.
In second place is the Bouldermobile, dropping into its own style of rock and roll driving.
Avoiding an ape at the finish line, we see the first win for the Army Surplus Special, followed in the next race with the first win for the Buzzwagon, although in very controversial circumstances. As we all know, stretching across the line is considered cheating, but because we know Dick was reinstated as first in an earlier race, this result will also stand. After 10 races, we already have 9 different winners, with only Penelope Pitstop and Peter Perfect yet to win a race. If only Formula 1 was this exciting. After a roller coaster of a race, we see the Crimson Hay Baler pick up his second win, with Private Meekly misinterpreting orders to step on the line and taking it literally. However, since they are not officially classified, I'll give them 4th place, as we are surely to believe they would be the next car to cross the finish line. With already 2 wins, I think it's time to take a closer look at the Crimson Hay Baler, a plane/car hybrid, often seen attempting to fly over his competition. The Red Max is often foiled by low bridges, or more often the other competitors. Clearly insane, he scores a 9 out of 10 on the Wacky scale.
I haven't lost my touch. That was one of my softest landings. Are you the tame, harmless gorilla?
Over the next 4 races, we see wins for the Bouldermobile, the Turbo Terrific, Penelope Pitstop, and the Army Surplus Special, meaning everyone has now won at least 1 race. The Bouldermobile's win was also their last win in the series. They have the longest run without a win in the series, spanning the final 22 races, with the exception of Dick Dastardly, of course. After 15 races, these are the current standings as we near the halfway point. With Dick now in his expected last position and not likely to move up, the Arkansas Chuggerbug struggling in 10th after a poor run of results, we do see a big change at the top, with joint second between Penelope and the Creepy Coupe, and now the Bouldermobile in first position. So currently languishing in last place is the Mean Machine, the stars of the show, almost always found speeding off ahead of everybody, only to stop and try and prevent anyone else from finishing the race, by setting up traps, diversions, or just by playing dirty. Muttley always laughing when it would all go horribly wrong. The villains of the show overall I would say are not that wacky, but we all secretly want them to win. I'd give them a score of 5 out of 10 on the Wacky scale.
Oh, who wanted to win this old race anyway? I did! I wanted to win this race! I never get to win a race!
Sometimes the winner of a race would be quite predictable, due to the terrain or location, with the Buzzwagon easily winning in the wrong lumber race. In round 18 we see one of the few times Dick manages to cross the line. As we only see 8 other cars cross the line, this means another 2 points for the Dastardly duo. I think Dick deserves a pat on the back for that. Round 19 sees another win for the Buzzwagon, in the aptly named Wacky Race to Ripsaw. The Buzzwagon, of course, made of wood with saws for wheels, with a lumberjack as the pilot and his beaver Sawtooth. Often found sawing his way through trees and even rocks, this strong man is not someone I would want to mess with. Not the craziest entry in the Wacky Races. I'd give them a score of 4 out of 10.
Oh dear, whatever shall I do?
What seems to be the problem, Miss Penelope? Oh yeah, stuck in the mud.
The next race sees us race across the oil fields. It's only one of 3 races where every car crosses the finish line. In all 3, Dick is the unfortunate one in 11th, missing out on points each time. The following 2 races are dominated by Peter Perfect in the number 9. Back-to-back wins could mean a late surge for the title. The Turbo Terrific is the longest car on the grid, but it's also susceptible to fall into pieces. Seen as a gentleman, we often see Peter trying to get the attention of Penelope during the races. Maybe if he wasn't so distracted, he would pick up even more wins. Overall, one of the more normal racers in the pack. He gets a score of 2 out of 10 on the wacky scale.
Now it's Peter Perfect's Turbo Terrific in front. And he's stretching his lead. And here comes Pat Pending stretching his legs.
While we're here, let's also discuss Penelope. This southern lady in the compact Pussycat has a lot of gadgets at her disposal, although some of them are just for comfort purposes. Well, to be fair, some of the races are pretty lengthy. It's good to race in style. Again, relatively normal compared to some of the other competitors. I'd give her a score of 3 out of 10 on the wacky scale.
I am mean and strong.
Especially strong. I can smell that. Phew. One little old spritz of irresistible will fix that.
Into round 23 we go with a win for Professor Pat Pending in Eeny Meeny, Missouri, with the Anthill Mob and Penelope rounding out the podium. The next 4 races are a miracle turnaround for one team, as the Arkansas Chuggabug, which at last standings check were second bottom on only 60 points, go on to win 3 out of 4 races. Is it just a little bit too late though? Could they still win the Wacky Races? Luke and Blubber Bear pilot this unwieldy looking contraption, powered by a boiler and with a rocking chair as the race seat. Other competitors would often try to put out their fire, or even try and explode their boiler. But rarely going off the boil, this pair could yet win the Wacky Races if this form continues. I would give them a wacky score of 8 out of 10.
Blubber Bear, I sure got me the hungries for a chunk of deep dish chuckleberry pie.
After those 4 rounds, these are the current stand-ins now after 27 races. The Mean Machine currently 11th, followed by the Army Surplus Special, the Anthill Mob, Peter Perfect, the Arkansas Chuggabug, Professor Pat Pending, Penelope, the Red Max, and the top 3 currently are the Creepy Coupe, the Bouldermobile, and our new leaders, the Buzzwagon. With just 7 more races to go, it's still very tight at the top, and anyone could still win. Well, apart from Dick. The next 3 races we see a surge from the Anthill Mob. With 2 wins out of 3 and a podium in the other one, will crime actually pay? This group of gangsters are often seen running from the law, or even using their legs to propel their car and run away from the competition using getaway power. Wearing the number 7 and made up of 7 members, they have also been known to dress up in different costumes while avoiding the cops. On the wacky scale, I'd give them a score of 7 out of 10.
Leaving so soon? Hey, what the... Lucky for me you was here, or I might have hurt myself.
The Army Surplus Special has manoeuvred back into 10th position in the last stand-ins, but a win for them in Ski Resort Road Race was very much needed. Piloted by Private Meekley and his superior Sergeant Blast, one of the more antagonistic of the Wacky Racers. They would often be seen using their turret for tactical gains, such as firing bubblegum, water, and mud bombs. They are also surprisingly the only car to not finish in 3rd place. I'll give them a score of 5 out of 10 on the wacky scale.
I'm giving her all she's got, Sarge.
Now don't forget, we got surplus power, Meekley. Pull in the cannon, and I'll start the dry land outboard. Now we'll go for a spin.
With just 3 races left, we see a lot of points finishes, with all the regular Wacky Racers finishing the next 2 races, with the exception of Dick, of course, who manages to smash into the finish line and slice up his car. Plus Silly Muttley uses the slow motion gas on themselves, preventing 2 easy wins. During all the chaos, Pat Pending picks up an important third place in racing. The Professor pilots number 3, the converter car, which can seemingly convert into anything, from bowling balls to pogo sticks and hot air balloons. With a car this impressive, surely the Professor should have won more races. However, maybe his kindness was his undoing, as his inventiveness would often help out the other racers. I'd give him a wacky score of 10 out of 10.
As Professor Pat Pending converts into an exact copy of the Slag Brothers and passes the real number 1.
Look up for the domination. That's us. Go, go, go!
So just one more race left as we enter round 34, the Carlsbad or Bust Bash. Dick Dastardly manages to make a new friend.
Me friend.
Mucky, I think he wants to be our friend.
The Bouldermobile, though, is sent into a spin, and of course the Turbo-Terrific disintegrates. After getting lost in the caverns, we see Penelope win the final race, with the Red Max in second and Slag Brothers in third. So that now means it's time for the final standings. I will go from bottom to top. In last place, with a measly 35 points, it's the Mean Machine. In 10th place, we have the Army Surplus Special, with 212. 9th place goes to the Arkansas Chuggabug, with 231 points. 8th place was Pat Pending, with 259. In 7th place, appropriately, is the number 7, the Anthill Mob, with 262 points. 6th place was Peter Perfect, with a total of 268. In 5th place is the Red Max, with 271. 4th place goes to Lady Penelope, with 294 points. Into the top 3. In 3rd place with 310 is the Creepy Coupe. 2nd place goes to the Buzzwagon with 312. But after a late surge of podiums in the last 7 races, taking the title of the world's wackiest racer, it's the Bouldermobile with the impressive 363 points. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed my video. There's always a chance some of my maths may have been incorrect, but I think we have proven the Bouldermobile did in fact win the Wacky Races. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Who is your favourite racer? But for now, take care and leave me alone.
Double drat!